The wilderness is beautiful, but unpredictable, and sometimes its dangers can be terrifyingly real. Bears, in particular, are fascinating yet fearsome creatures. While they are often admired from a distance, encounters with these powerful animals can take a deadly turn. Over the years, there have been some truly chilling stories of people who tragically lost their lives in bear attacks. Here, we explore 5 of the most disturbing deaths caused by bears. Stories that highlight the thin line between awe and danger in the wild. On a chilling summer night in 1967, the tranquil beauty of Montana's Glacier National Park became the backdrop for a nightmare. 2 young women, Julie Helgeson and Michelle Coons, both 19 and seasonal lodge employees, met a tragic end in separate grizzly bear attacks. What should have been peaceful overnight backpacking trips with friends turned into a harrowing ordeal that would forever change the park's history. On August 12th, Helgeson and Coons set out on separate hikes, eager to explore the park's awe-inspiring landscapes. Glacier was renowned for its rugged beauty, but unbeknownst to the women, danger was lurking nearby. For weeks, grizzlies had been prowling campsites and lodges, drawn by improperly stored food left by careless visitors. In some cases, tourists had even fed the bears to snap photographs, creating a perilous situation where the lines between human and wild became dangerously blurred. Back then, there were no bear-proof garbage bins or widespread warnings, leaving visitors vulnerable to the unpredictable wilderness. Under the starlit sky, neither group had any inkling of the terror that was about to unfold. In the early hours of the morning, Helgeson and her friend were startled awake by the sound of a grizzly sniffing at their sleeping bags. Frozen in fear, they attempted to play dead, a common survival tactic. However, the bear was undeterred. It attacked both of them before dragging Helgeson into the forest as her screams pierced the stillness. A frantic search party located her hours later, grievously injured. Despite their best efforts to save her, she succumbed to her injuries before reaching the hospital. Coons and her group had an equally horrifying encounter. As they prepared dinner at their campsite, a grizzly suddenly appeared, raiding their supplies. Believing the bear had satisfied its hunger, the group decided to move to a nearby beach to sleep, hoping to avoid further trouble. But their reprieve was short-lived. At 4:30 a.m., the grizzly returned with renewed aggression. While Coons' friend scrambled up nearby trees, she was unable to escape. The bear mauled her savagely, severing her arm in the attack. Although her friends eventually reached help, it was too late. Coons succumbed to her injuries before rescuers could arrive. The fact that these horrifying incidents occurred on the same night in different parts of the park sent shockwaves through the nation. The deaths of Helgeson and Coons exposed glaring gaps in the park's safety protocols. At the time, little was done to educate visitors on the dangers of attracting wildlife, and the lack of proper food storage measures made encounters with bears far more likely. The tragedy served as a wake-up call, prompting Glacier National Park and other wilderness areas to implement critical safety measures. Bear-proof garbage cans, strict food storage rules, and educational campaigns about wildlife safety became standard practices, aiming to prevent such disasters in the future. While the immediate aftermath of the attacks was filled with grief and shock, the legacy of that fateful night reminds us of nature's unpredictability. The events showed the delicate balance required to coexist with the wild. For all its breathtaking beauty, Glacier National Park remains a domain where humans are visitors and wildlife reigns supreme. The deaths of Helgeson and Coons revealed the need for both respect and caution when venturing into the untamed wilderness. Decades later, the memory of that tragic night in Glacier National Park remains etched in the collective consciousness. It is a haunting tale of nature's raw power and the fragility of human life when faced with its ferocity. On a bitterly cold December in 1915, a remote village in Hokkaido, Japan, became the site of the worst animal attack in the nation's history. The Sankebetsu brown bear incident left 7 people dead and 3 injured over a span of 5 harrowing days. The terror began with a lone Ussuri brown bear, a massive and formidable predator native to Hokkaido, waking early from hibernation. Its hunger and aggression would devastate the quiet settlement, leaving a dark legacy that still haunts the region. The Ussuri brown bear is one of the largest bear subspecies, rivaling even the Kodiak bear in size. These animals have long inspired fear in Japan, where tales of their ferocity are ingrained in local lore. During the early 20th century, such fears were not unfounded. Over 141 people were killed in bear attacks on Hokkaido between 1900 and 1950. Yet, nothing could prepare the villagers of Sankebetsu for the nightmare that began in mid-November 1915, when a large male bear first appeared near the Akita family's farm. It raided their corn supplies but left without causing harm. Hoping to drive the bear away for good, the family enlisted 2 experienced mataji, traditional winter hunters, to track and kill it. Though they wounded the bear during an encounter 10 days later, a snowstorm forced the hunters to abandon their pursuit, mistakenly believing the injury would deter the animal from returning. They could not have been more wrong. On December 9th, the bear stormed the Ota family home in broad daylight. Inside, Abe Mayu was babysitting an infant while her husband worked in the fields. The bear attacked without warning, killing the baby instantly with a bite to the head. Mayu fought back, throwing firewood at the massive predator, but it overpowered her, dragging her into the forest. When her husband returned, he found the home drenched in blood, his wife gone. The following morning, a search party discovered Mayu's partially devoured body buried in snow beneath a tree. The discovery confirmed the bear's growing boldness and bloodlust. That evening, armed villagers gathered at the Ota home, prepared for the bear's return. The predator did reappear, triggering chaos. Amid the panic, only a single shot was fired, and the bear escaped unscathed. Nearby, the Miyuki family and other villagers sought refuge in a reinforced home, believing they were safer in numbers. Guards were posted, but when news of the bear's presence at the Ota home reached them, most of the guards left to investigate, leaving only one man to protect the women and children. What happened next was a scene of unimaginable horror. As the Miyuki women prepared a late meal, the bear crashed through a window and plunged the house into chaos. In the ensuing melee, flames were extinguished, plunging the room into darkness. The bear attacked indiscriminately. Yayo, the family matriarch, attempted to flee with her children but stumbled when her terrified young son clung to her legs. Though the bear initially targeted them, it turned its focus to the lone guard, allowing Yayo to escape. Tragically, others were not as fortunate. 2 young boys were killed, and a pregnant woman was savagely mauled despite her desperate pleas for mercy. Her remains, partially consumed, were a grim testament to the bear's violence. A group of armed men soon arrived, but were unable to save those inside. They considered burning the house to kill the bear, but hesitated, fearing for any survivors. Attempts to ambush the bear failed, as confusion among the hunters allowed it to escape yet again. Among the villagers, a plea for help was made to Yamamoto Heikichi, a skilled bear hunter with a fearsome reputation. On December 13th, Yamamoto and a group of 60 hunters tracked the bear to a snowy ridge. Bloodstains revealed that the bear had been wounded again during a prior encounter. Yamamoto's experience paid off. He located the bear resting under a Japanese oak tree and closed in silently. From just 20 yards away, he fired 2 precise shots, one to the heart and one to the head, finally ending the animal's rampage. The bear, later measured at nearly 9 feet tall and weighing 750 pounds, was a formidable predator, even by Ussuri brown bear standards. The aftermath of the incident left scars that would linger for generations. Villagers abandoned Sankebetsu, unable to bear the memories of the tragedy. Some survivors, like Okawa Haruyoshi, the mayor's son, vowed vengeance. Haruyoshi became a renowned bear hunter, claiming over 100 kills in his lifetime. In the annals of wilderness exploration, few tragedies have left as haunting a mark as the 2023 grizzly bear attack in Banff National Park. While backcountry treks are meant to inspire awe and connection with nature, this particular journey ended in devastating loss, cementing itself as one of the most harrowing events in the park's modern history. Doug Inglis and Jenny Gussa, both 62, were seasoned adventurers and devoted naturalists. The couple, accompanied by their beloved border collie, Tris, set out for a week-long trek in the rugged Red Deer River Valley, an isolated corner of Banff. Known for their meticulous preparation and respect for wildlife, Doug and Jenny embodied the spirit of the park's wilderness, experienced, cautious, and deeply in tune with the land. On the evening of September 29, 2023, they arrived at their campsite after a long day of hiking. As was their routine, they secured their food cache safely away from their tent, prepared a simple meal, and likely retreated into their tent to read and relax. The couple sent a satellite message to family, noting a delay but reassuring them that all was well. But by the early hours of the next morning, a horrifying reality had unfolded. A grizzly bear, old and frail but still dangerously powerful, attacked their campsite. In those final, desperate moments, Doug and Jenny managed to send a 3-word message from their satellite device: "Bear attack bad." It was a cry for help that carried the weight of unimaginable terror and impending tragedy. The alert reached Parks Canada, whose specialized wildlife response team sprang into action. However, poor weather conditions in the remote valley grounded helicopters, forcing rescuers to navigate the dark, rugged terrain on foot. They arrived at the site after midnight, only to find the worst. Doug, Jenny, and Tris had all been killed. As the team secured the area, they encountered the grizzly responsible for the attack. The bear charged, and in the interest of safety, it was shot and killed. A subsequent necropsy revealed the bear to be an aged female, around 25 years old, an outlier in the wilderness. Her teeth were worn down, and her fat stores were dangerously low, signs of a long struggle to survive. Despite Doug and Jenny's adherence to safety protocols, including properly storing their food, the bear's desperate condition had turned their campsite into a fatal encounter. The tragedy was devastating for the close-knit community of outdoor enthusiasts and the broader public. Doug and Jenny were not reckless newcomers to the wilderness. They were exemplars of responsible outdoor recreation. Their deaths underscored the unpredictable and often unforgiving nature of wildlife interactions, even for the most prepared and experienced individuals. For those who knew them, Doug and Jenny were more than their final moments. They were lifelong adventurers, partners in both work and passion, who found joy in the vast landscapes of Canada's national parks. Tris, their loyal companion, was a testament to their love for animals and the bond they shared with nature. The legacy of Doug and Jenny's story is twofold. On one hand, it is a reminder of the risks inherent in exploring wild spaces. On the other, it is a call to cherish those who embrace the outdoors with reverence and care. For Doug and Jenny, nature was not merely a backdrop, but a shared passion that defined their lives. In the summer of 2011, a group of British teenagers embarked on a month-long Arctic adventure in the icy wilderness of Svalbard, Norway. Organized by the British Schools Exploring Society, BISIS, the expedition promised an unforgettable journey, an opportunity to study the effects of climate change, bond with new friends, and possibly witness the majestic polar bear in its natural habitat. Tragically, what was meant to be an awe-inspiring encounter with nature turned into a nightmare, claiming the life of 17-year-old Horatio Chappell, a bright young man with aspirations of becoming a doctor. Horatio was one of 80 students on the trip, filled with excitement and curiosity about the stark beauty of the Arctic landscape. The participants had been assured of stringent safety measures, including tripwires set to trigger small explosive mines around campsites, pen flares to deter bears, and a firearm carried by an adult group leader. For many of the teenagers, this journey represented both adventure and discovery in one of the world's most remote and striking environments. However, the expedition's safety preparations were far from foolproof. Shortly after arriving on the icy terrain, the group discovered troubling shortcomings in their equipment. There weren't enough pen flares to distribute among the participants, and some of the tripwires, crucial for detecting and deterring bears, were malfunctioning. Adding to the concern, the firearm assigned to the group leader was an antiquated rifle. In the early hours of August 5th, disaster struck. A starving polar bear, driven by desperation in a rapidly changing ecosystem, entered the campsite undetected. The predator approached the tents where the teenagers slept, its hunger overriding any instinct to avoid humans. The bear tore into Horatio's tent, launching a frenzied attack. One of Horatio's companions was bitten on the head before the bear turned its fury on Horatio. In the chaos, Horatio was dragged from the tent and fatally mauled. The campsite erupted in panic as the bear continued its rampage. 4 other members of the expedition were seriously injured, including 2 adult leaders who scrambled to stop the attack. The leaders wrestled with the unreliable rifle, desperately attempting to neutralize the threat. After a tense and prolonged struggle, they managed to shoot and kill the bear, but the damage was done. Horatio Chappell had lost his life, and the survivors were left to grapple with both their physical injuries and the emotional scars of the ordeal. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the international community and raised pressing questions about the adequacy of safety measures in high-risk environments. The expedition, meant to inspire and educate, had been undermined by critical oversights. Faulty equipment and insufficient training had left the group vulnerable to the very dangers they sought to study. For Horatio's family and friends, the loss was unbearable. A bright and compassionate young man with a future brimming with potential, Horatio had been on the cusp of adulthood, eager to make a difference in the world. His death became a permanent reminder of the unpredictability of nature and the responsibilities owed to those who venture into its domain. Horatio's story remains a somber chapter in the history of exploration, a testament to both the allure and the peril of untamed landscapes. For those who knew him, his memory endures as a symbol of youthful ambition and a love for discovery. For the rest of us, his story serves as a poignant reminder of the fragile line between adventure and tragedy in the face of nature's raw power. The Liard River, Hot Springs. Provincial Park in British Columbia, Canada, is a tranquil oasis nestled within the boreal forest. Known for its inviting hot pools, it draws locals and travelers alike seeking to relax in its steaming waters. But on August 14, 1997, this serene destination became the site of a horrifying attack that would forever alter its peaceful reputation. Patty McConnell, a Texan on a road trip to Alaska with her 2 children, decided to stop at the hot springs for a much-needed break. The family set off to explore the park, with Patty and her 13-year-old son, Kelly, venturing down a boardwalk and up a set of stairs to find a quieter pool away from the crowds. The serenity of the moment was shattered when a rustling sound emerged from the dense underbrush. Patty turned and came face to face with a large black bear. Before she could react, the bear charged, tackling Patty and launching a brutal attack. Her screams pierced the air as she fought for her life. Kelly, despite his young age and slight build, showed extraordinary bravery. He grabbed a tree branch and struck the bear repeatedly, even kicking it in the face in a desperate attempt to save his mother. The bear, however, turned its rage on him, clawing him across the neck and lifting him by the waist before hurling him to the ground. The commotion caught the attention of bystanders, including a man named Ray Kitchen. Without hesitation, Kitchen rushed to the scene to intervene. He too attempted to fend off the bear, but the animal's strength was overwhelming. In the struggle, the bear struck Kitchen, sending both of them tumbling through a railing and down a hillside. Tragically, the bear mauled Kitchen to death, delivering fatal wounds to his neck. As the attack unfolded, panic spread among other visitors. A second man attempted to intervene and was critically injured in the process. It wasn't until 2 bystanders arrived with hunting rifles that the rampage ended. They shot and killed the bear, but by then, the damage was devastating. Patty McConnell succumbed to her injuries, her courageous effort to protect her son marking her final moments. Kelly, though gravely injured, miraculously survived. His determination to fight off the bear and his incredible resilience became a testament to his bravery. The tragic loss of Ray Kitchen, who selflessly risked his life to help others, left a profound impact on everyone who learned of the incident. The attack shocked the region, prompting discussions about wildlife safety and the unpredictable dangers of nature. The black bear, later determined to be emaciated and unusually aggressive, likely attacked out of desperation, driven by hunger or illness. For many, the event served as a reminder of the delicate balance between humans and wildlife, especially in remote and wild settings. Today, the Liard River Hot Springs remains a popular destination, but the memory of that tragic day lingers. Signs warning visitors of bear activity are a constant presence, urging caution and vigilance.